Good evening from the UK. I've had a rather relaxing day as I've been recovering from a 10-kilometre race yesterday. So I've been taking it easy. But I've still been trading and was up early this morning despite being tired from my race yesterday. And I decided to trade the London Breakout, which is a strategy I try to do every day when I can. So just briefly, London Breakout session. Here in London, what we do is we blank out the Asian session, which runs from 12 midnight to 8 o'clock in the morning, and then you would trade either side of it as soon as you get a breakout. So if you get a breakout on the short side, you go short. If you break out here candlestick, you go long. So these are 5-minute candlesticks. As you can see, it's a really tight range this morning, and it broke to the short side, and I went in at 12.728, and I got out here where the other arrow is at 7.2, where are we? 7.2, let's have a look at this, 12.708. So I was going for 20 pips and I was risking 10 pips. So looking for a 2-hour return. And at £10 a pip, that was an easy £200. And I took the trade just after 8 and got out just after 9:15 in the morning. Okay. Now, the reason I'm showing you this chart is because I could have got out down here, which had another 15 pips. I've added another £150. But I didn't know that was going to be the bottom of the trade here. I didn't know it was go down as far as that. But the reason I'm showing you this chart is because the London Breakout Strategy is supposed to be so popular with many traders, and it's often shown on YouTube to be quite an easy strategy to use, a money maker that you can use every day. And I was using it last month for most days when I could trade it, and I've been doing okay with it. But I've also done other trading as well alongside it, so I don't just rely on the breakout strategy. But the other trades I did, I traded on other currencies, I traded on gold, and I was just up for the month. But I would have been even more up for the month if I just concentrated on London Breakout Strategy and nothing else. So my question to you is, do you just concentrate on one strategy, just one specific strategy that will work every day? For example, like London Breakout, you can use it every day if you're there in front of the laptop, if you can set the trade. I mean, you can set it and leave it once it breaks out and get alerts sent to you to know when it's going to break through. Or do you look to trade at some other opportunities during the day? I mean, obviously this is the pound US, the cable, which along with the euro US is one of the popular traded forex pairs. But obviously, you could spread bet the indices, things like let's say like commodities like gold. I mean, you can do the breakout on the FTSE 100 as well. I've done it on the euro USD. Interesting, if I'd done a USD, I don't think it would quite make 20 pips today. But you see on this chart here, there are many ways you can trade using other various indicators. So for example, here we got the Bollinger Bands here, and this thin line here is the middle band, which is the 21, and normally the price goes above it. That's a buy, and as you can see here, it's gone above at 11.35, and that's what, 12.707. And if I bought it in there, I mean, now as I'm recording this, is what, 8.26. If I'd kept it there, because you see it's staying above 21, and the outer Bollinger Bands here are normally, if it breaks out of there, it's going to break out. So that bottom Bollinger Band there normally acts as support. Certainly when the price stays above the middle Bollinger Band here, the 21, that means it's certainly on a buy. And you can see it's broken out here on the top Bollinger Band here, but there's not been an actual breakout. It sticks to the edge of the Bollinger Band there. But the point I'm making is it's stayed up above there, and it's literally come across here. So if you were to sell here when it comes back below there, it's 12.779. Okay, and you've gone in at, was it 12.719? So that's what, 60 pips. At £10 a pip, that's £600. So that would have been more. Or if you'd done like something like 500, you would have got £300. So you know, I went for 20 pips, not being greedy. I could have got 35. This is 70 pips. And also another thing here is I've got another indicator on here, which is the moving average, the 6. So we got the 6 moving average, which is you can just see this brown line here where the price is hovering, and you've got the 50, the 50 moving average, which is a dark black line here. And as you can see, when the price crosses here, a little bit later than on the Bollinger Band here, it still goes up, and it's still going up here. So I could have traded that way. I could have gone in here at 12,722, and it's now 827, 12,722, and that's what, 12,798. 70, 72, 77, 77 pips approximately. Yeah, that's right. So, you know, you could be getting far more pips that way than maybe going for the London Breakout Strategy. But, you know, most traders would proclaim, okay, the London Breakout Strategy is, I mean, it's well known, it's popular with many traders, it's one strategy that most traders will have heard of. But just because it's so popular doesn't necessarily mean it always works. But I've been using it a lot, and it does tend to be quite reliable. But you can see there are many other ways you can trade, and obviously this is all day trading. There are other ways you can do swing trading as well. But if you look at the bottom here, we've got the MACD, and when the blue crosses the red line, that's normally a buy. So as you can see here, it's sort of crossing here, and it's come back. It's sort of not really sort of hugging that, but it's sort of just staying in line with it. But then it's saying come out about here, which is, it approximately ties in with obviously what's happening with the Bollinger Bands up here. So there's another indicator you can use. But, you know, what I'm asking to you is, what is the best way to trade? Because, for example, you could overtrade. For example, I could have done a London breakout, got my money, and then I could have gone back in later, as I was off today, and come back in here and get another 70 pips by using these indicators. So for London breakout, I use simple indicators. It literally is just when it breaks out the range, that's when I go for. But also I could see, you know, I do look at other indicators as well. I look at the way the price is going, and the price had been going down since about 3 o'clock in the morning UK time anyway. So it seemed to be heading that way. But I could have put these indicators on, for example, like the Bollinger Bands and the MACD anyway, just to help me with my decision. But I tend not to. I tend to keep it pretty simple when I do a London breakout. But as well as pound US, I say you could trade maybe the Euro US or the Aussie US dollar. There are many other currencies to trade. But then how are you going to trade? You need a trading plan, but what's your trading plan for the day? Are you going to go for so many pips a day? Are you going to go for so many trades per day? Are you going to trade for so long per day? Because the market's open 24 hours. Specifically, forex is open 24 hours. So you could trade no matter what time of the day. Obviously, other days, some days are more volatile than others. But there are so many indicators you could put on this chart, and there's so many different ways of trading. And that's literally the point I'm making. You know, I'm quite happy today with my 20 pips on the London Breakout Strategy. But as I was off today, should I come back in and traded this as well? You know, I could have got another 70 pips. And that's something maybe I need to look at. But, you know, with those 20 pips, I've doubled my return, added 2-hour return on that. So that's been very good for my account. And this might not necessarily have worked out, but I'm just showing you this because there are other ways you can trade. But the London Breakout is so popular, but if it's so popular, do traders trade it alongside the other trading? You know, I don't hear of many traders just using the London Breakout Strategy, because many other traders will be posting videos of saying, well, look, I'm trading this way, I'm trading with the moving averages, I've done a trade on gold using this, I've been trading this way, the moving averages, the Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci retracement. I do it like this. Some go for 20 pips, 30 pips. Some just let the trade run. Millions of ways to trade, and it can be very confusing. And sometimes you've got to set a plan. You must always have a trading plan and think, well, what do I want to achieve today? You know, there's always this saying of greed and fear, and there's the greed, you know, I want to go back in and get even more pips, or there's the fear of I'm not quite sure, I'll just stick to London Breakout because I'm a bit wary of using this. And obviously back testing any strategy is always a good idea. Even with something like the London Breakout Strategy, there are various different ways you can trade it. You know, I use the 5-minute chart. Some people do it on a 10-minute chart. Some people let London Breakout Strategy run, but for example, if I let it run here, we've gone back up again. Some people go maybe 30 pips, 10 pips. Some traders just go for 10 pips a day on any strategy, on any trade. Some people trade at specific times of the day when they know the volatility is right or when the trade's going to get in. Some people will trade the FTSE for the London Breakout. Some people will trade the DAX. The DAX indice can be quite profitable as well. Some people go for so many pips per day, so many percentage of winning on their account. And then what happens if you get losses? If you get losses, do you go straight back in after a loss? That's like revenge trading. Or do you set yourself so many losses per day? What time charts are you working on? There's all these factors to consider. And just seeing on YouTube, there's so many traders who, you know, they know about the London Breakout Strategy. They proclaim it's a good strategy. But then they're posting many other videos of obviously trading other methods as well. So do they trade alongside the London Breakout? So London Breakout Strategy is working. Why do you need to trade anything else? Is it to make more money? You're not making enough money on the London Breakout Strategy? Are you being greedy, or do you work alongside it? I mean, obviously in a London Breakout Strategy, there is, you know, obviously the answer that you don't always get a trade on a London Breakout Strategy, and there have been days when you just can't trade it. There is no breakout. So fair enough, you then look at other strategies where you can use these moving averages or Bollinger Bands or the MACD. So yeah, I was looking back at my last month's trading, and I was up, but I would have been up even more if I hadn't made probably some silly mistakes on trading gold and some other currencies. So if I just stuck to the London Breakout, I'd have been up even more. But you know, hey ho. At the same time, you can't rely just on one strategy. It's always good to have a good, you know, how can I put it? A good selection of strategies that you can use in various different types of markets, because sometimes the markets aren't always trending. So are you going to trend trade, or are you going to look for reversals? There's so many different ways you can trade and get money out of the market. But it's like knowing your limits, knowing your targets. I knew my limit today. I was quite happy in just over an hour getting those 20 pips. As I say, £10 a pip, that's £200. That's, you know, I think that's a good return. And even though I could have traded more today, as I say, you know, I've missed out on this big trade here. But sometimes, you know, it's best to cut your losses. You know, not that I had any losses today, but it's best to know when to curtail your trade. You don't need to be in the market all the time. If you set your goal for the day, you want to know how many pips you can get. And for example, if the London Breakout Strategy hadn't occurred today, maybe I would have looked at something else, not a £700 US. The Euro US is another a good pair to trade. So that's just my opinions anyway on the London Breakout Strategy and trading other strategies with other indicators. As I say, there are millions of different ways you can do this. It's just interesting how different traders do it and what they look for. As I say, I'm happy with my 20 pips a day, and if I can get a 20 pips profit every day, then that will do me. And you know, it won't always come from the London Breakout Strategy. Obviously, that's why I do have to trade other various methods, because there isn't always that certainty of the London Breakout. Like with any trade, there's no certainty. So you know, just the way it goes. But it's just interesting to see how many different ways you can trade, and what times of the day you do trade, and what you look for. I mean, it's fascinating to look at the different charts and see how many indicators you can put on there and different ways you can trade. But yeah, I'm having my 20 pips a day, so that'll do.